Gotcha. So if you guys will, is everybody an agent?
No,
No, who's not an agent?
I'm not.
What do you do, Roberta?
I do marketing materials. So so how I got, and I don't even know how I kind of got invited into this somehow. But I work with realtors on like closing gifts and all kinds of fun stuff like that.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so I can do a lot of personalization, all kinds of like offer unique gifts and at different levels. So depending on, you know, what you're selling, the value of it, you wouldn't give somebody who just bought a $500,000 house the same gift as you would give somebody who maybe bought a $125,000. So it's kind of, I offer that type of services.
That's really cool. And Ashley, are you an agent?
I'm not. I am working on it. I go for my
Okay.
test at the end of the month, but I'm in marketing as well.
Okay, cool. Cool. I asked that because pretty much, you know, the whole book was started on with agents in mind. That's how he wrote it. But I know that it's very transferable and a lot of other industries are getting involved. So I just like to be aware of it. And then also would like feedback from you guys, like how you're using it for your clients or in your sphere. So today we're going to talk about the Great Cookie giveaway. I'm going to let some more people in. And so I'll tell you how I not necessarily came up with the idea, because I'm sure someone else has the idea, but how I got interested in it was because there was a couple of agents that I knew that were Jehovah's Witness. So a lot of the events that we were doing were not a good fit for them because they were around the holidays. And then I heard an agent, Elizabeth Riley out of Austin, had said that she delivered Girl Scout cookies to her people every year. She delivered 300 Girl Scout boxes of Girl Scout cookies. And I was like, what? You should make them come pick those up. So I was like, oh, that's what you can do instead of like the Great Pie giveaway and Thanksgiving, or in addition to. And so that's where like the idea kind of sprung from. And the brainstorming session is just like to get ideas from each other on how you can do this, do the same thing in different ways. And now we're doing it virtual, we're doing things in person, we're doing a hybrid. And so people is anyone in event mastery right now? Okay, so two.
I am.
Okay, cool. So a few people in there have kind of taken the idea and ran with it. Who's done a pie giveaway? Who's done any kind of giveaway before, where people like either came and picked it up or they dropped off to a lot of people? Okay, so Rebecca, the other one. Okay. Oh, Tina's done it. So I am going to start. Tina, just so everybody knows, she's an agent in Virginia and her daughter's a Girl Scout. And she's definitely not a secret Girl Scout. But Tina was the first person I knew who did a pie giveaway. So I'm going to have her share what she did in her first event.
I had, it was my first pie giveaway, but I had a lot of great help, even though.
Your cookie giveaway, Tina, your cookie.
Oh, I thought you said pie giveaway.
I had asked who did pie giveaways. I'm sorry.
Oh,
cookie
okay.
giveaway.
The cookie giveaway was my actual first event that I ever did. And what I did was I did it at a local State Farm office, and invited all my clients and friends. We had door prizes. It was a pretty good. I had coffee and hot chocolate available, and this was pre-COVID. So, I was able to put a nice display of cookies out. People came in, if they hadn't already done the door prize entry, they filled one out. I did do the draw the names at the end of the event for everybody that had came. It was pretty cool. It was a nice. I think it was less than 50 people, I think, that came. It was I think I gave out like a little over 50 boxes of Girl Scout cookies.
So Did you give out 1 box per person or 1 box
Yep.
per family?
One person, 1 box per family.
Okay, did you let them pick their flavor or did you just bring a whole bunch of boxes?
Nope, they had to pre-register for the box ahead of time.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how did you get them to pre-register?
I did with the help of a really nice person named Monique. She showed me how to do Eventbrite, and we did registered for the cookies on Eventbrite.
Okay,
So,
all right.
yeah.
So, awesome. Does anybody have any questions for Tina? No. So I will tell you how I'm doing my great cookie giveaway this year. It is for my neighborhood that I want to farm. So it will be open to my sphere next year. They just had an event, so I'm not going to bombard them with another one in less than 2 months. And so I am planning to go door knocking almost as if I was a Girl Scout, but this time I'm giving away cookies instead of selling them. But then while I'm there, I'm asking them, I made a little Google form for myself. So I'm asking them, are they renters or are they owners? Are they looking to buy in the next year or sell? If they were to do anything, do they already have an agent that they would work with? So that's kind of the chosen one concept out of like the book. And then I asked for permission to keep in touch. And in 7L, we often talk about staying in the influential zone. So obviously, if I'm at the door, I'm in the influential zone because that's like a one-on-one conversation. But I feel like we shouldn't forget like the other zones that are below that. So if I'm keeping in touch with like a newsletter, whether it's going out by mail or email, or inviting them to an event. I want to have their permission to keep in touch. So that's how I'm using that event. And I do ask them what cookie they want. And someone's like, well, don't you have to ask for their information? They give you all their information before you ask for the cookie order, and then they'll tell me and then I'll ask if I can ask them the rest of the questions. So that's kind of how I'm doing it. And because it's COVID, all my events are in person, even though it is COVID. It gives people the option to decide if they want to come or not, because I'm comfortable with people coming with masks and, it's cool with me. It's outside. So I'm going to have mine in my driveway since it's for my neighborhood. I may just leave the cookies in the trunk if I have a lot and just open my trunk and hand them out because it's a come and go. So there's no reason to create like lingering and stuff. Now, Tina, because her daughter's a Girl Scout, if she was doing it, she may have like all these signs in her yard because the Girl Scouts have plenty of promo stuff. But so that's how I'm doing it. And so that's clearly a very basic way, right? At best, there's a card table in your front yard with cookies on it. Or if you have an office, you can do it in your office parking lot, or you can have it inside your office and just let people come, pick them up, and leave. No lingering. Now, obviously, there's a lot of other ways to incorporate this event. And so some things that I've seen include one lady, she's going all out. Like, I want to go to her event. She's giving away cookies, but you can't pick your flavor. She's ordering the top 3, and everybody gets to go home with like 2 boxes, a hot chocolate bomb, and some other stuff. Like, it's a lot. And I think she partnered with a specific Girl Scout troop to do that. Another lady is partnering with, forgive me, I don't know much about the Jewish culture, but it's this specific, she called it a specific community. Like, it's like a group within the Jewish community. And she's like, oh, their granddaughters are Girl Scouts. So that's who she's supporting. So that's how you can incorporate like the community aspect of it. So you could pick a Girl Scout if you have a client that might have a Girl Scout, You could support them. If you have a school that you want to support that has a Girl Scout troop, you could do that as well. So some other things, let's talk. I mean, you could always think about how you can do this with COVID and without COVID, right? So I know that you can go online and get a list of recipes to make with Girl Scout cookies. It's right on the Girl Scout cookie website, by the way. And also keep in mind, depending on where you live at, depends on what flavors of Girl Scout cookies you get. If you did not know that, you can thank me later. So you're not offering a flavor that's not available in your market. Nicole Aldez is another CRT, and she is doing Thin Mints for National Chocolate Mint Day. I believe she's like delivering the cookies to the people, and then with like 3 or 4 recipes to pick from. And then there's going to be an online like Zoom event. I'm not really with trivia because that's kind of her thing, the trivia, but I'm not really sure what the whole setup is going to be, but that's how she's kind of making it a hybrid. You know, she's dropping it off and then she's going to have like the virtual aspect of it. So there's another thing you can do, Girl Scout trivia or cookie trivia. If you wanted to do like a in-person type event, not in person, I'm sorry, a virtual event, you could coordinate, you could set it up for something like that where people get their cookies and then they show up for that later. You could incorporate it at your pick up the trivia and then have like trivia questions and ask people. What else? The door prize. Who's familiar with the door prize entry form? Nobody. Somebody. Tina. Okay, I'm going to show you the door prize entry form. And if you've never taken Event Mastery, it's my favorite, the biggest return on my investment, I feel like, in the generosity generation. So give me 1 second while I pull it up. But the whole purpose of this form is to get referrals and leads, not only for yourself, but for any sponsors that you might have. So I'm gonna open this and share my screen real quick. Oops, let me kind of make it bigger for you guys. Can you guys see that pretty good? Okay, so right there, you're just asking for their name, and then if there's anyone that they know looking to buy or sell, and then you can see down there all the lead generating questions. And so if they answer yes, then of course you follow up with them. And the idea is if they answer yes for one of your sponsors, you follow up, like, so let's say I was following up with Ashley and I'm like, oh, Ashley, you said you were interested in professional photography services, right? I'm going to connect you with Lainey. That's a photographer that I use and Lainey was actually like at the event. So I'll be like, oh, do you remember Lainey from the event? Yeah, well, I'm going to connect you with her and you can find out like if you guys are a good fit, because you're using that kind of like third party validation kind of thing. So those questions can be included on your invitation if you do an electronic invitation, or you can maybe put it on a Google form that you give people electronically, or you can have a printed form at like the pickup. And door prizes can be given out at the event if it's like completely in person, or you can do it after the event. I've even done it before because I put them in the questions in the invitation, and then I'll draw it the night before so I can tell the people to come pick up their gift, their prize, because I don't deliver gifts. You have to pick them up. And if they don't pick them up, I don't chase them down. I just save it for the next event. And people don't pick up their gifts. So yeah. So those are just some ideas to get like your creative juices flowing. I'd like to hear like if you guys have ideas of how you might incorporate it or things that maybe you thought of that's like, oh, maybe we could do something like that. Mary Ellen, aren't you doing like a wine pairing with cookies? Tell us about that.
Well, plan is to do the cookie giveaway and get people interested, sort of farming. And then those people, I'll also do a wine pairing. I was going to do it at a local coffee shop, but he asked me to wait because of all the COVID restrictions. So we weren't sure how many we could. But that's kind of how I'm going to do it. And just I'll reserve some cookies, obviously. And he also has, he's a coffee shop slash dessert bar, and he actually has a full liquor license. So we could do the wine tasting with some cheese and crackers or whatever he's got. And then he also does these fancy dessert drinks. So he might be able to make some special drinks with the cookie flavors.
Oh, that's
So
good. There was
just
a lot of
there's
good
a group,
ideas in there.
yeah, there's a group here called the Sisterhood of the Traveling Wine Club or something. They started in COVID. And so they all gift basket each other around town. So I thought they will definitely be a great group to do that.
Yeah, for sure. That's really cool. I don't drink, so I would have definitely never thought of that. But it's a good idea.
I'm just trying to get the popular people.
Yeah. And
trying to get the popular people to talk.
Yeah. So, and then, and a coffee shop's a good place to have a pickup. Like if you're not sure where to go, post-COVID and during COVID, because if they're picking up cookies, they might go ahead and grab a hot chocolate, or depending on if you're in Arizona, maybe not, but they might grab a hot chocolate or a coffee, so you're helping that local business as well. Who has a question about how much this cost? So, go ahead, Rebecca.
I was going to ask you, Monique, if you used a sponsor.
Yes, always.
Yeah.
Always. So sometimes, like with the cookies, I'm going to wait to see how many cookies I need before I ask for sponsors, because the power's in the invitation, right? When I'm doing so since I'm let's pretend I wasn't farming. Let's pretend I was doing this for my sphere. They would have gotten an electronic invitation through Eventbrite. Then I would have followed up in the same week with an email, because sometimes it goes to their spam. So I'd send an email that says, hey, I invited you to this event. If you didn't see the link, here it is. Then they would get, normally I have a charity. So this time I'd be buying my cookies from Tina's daughter, but Tina's daughter, this is her last year selling cookies. So I'm going to find somebody. There's a school in my neighborhood. I'm going to see if they have a Girl Scout troop. So maybe I would do a video with them, and then I would send that video out via text or email or both. And then with my sponsors, I would do another, when there's door prizes, I would do another video with the door prizes. And then that's when I'm going to tell them my sponsors. And those videos are a minute long or less. Like I try not to go over that. And then I'm going to do a confirmation. I'll do a reminder through Eventbrite for people who didn't RSVP. I'll do a confirmation text pretty close to it, right? So my events, I typically will have them on Tuesday from 5:30 to 7:30. And then I will, so maybe like Friday, I'll confirm. And then also about 2 weeks before, I'll do a call session where I start calling people to remind them about the event. and or maybe like, oh, just making sure you got the invitation, because I can see if they opened it or not, right? um, and so really, that's the value, right? Is because you get to touch those people all those times. And if you do 4 events a year, you multiply all those touches times 4, you're in front of your people over half of the year. And I haven't mailed a single thing out. I hadn't sent a separate email, but you're in front of them. And then if you're on social media, if you have like a Facebook group for them, that's another way, so there's a lot of ways to be in touch around an event. And of course, your stuff is on there. So that's where the value is. So I don't care if nobody gets Girl Scout cookies from me. As long as they got my voicemails, my text messages, my Facebook messages. And I'll go through and Facebook message everybody on my invitation list that's on my Facebook. Like, I will find them. So then for my sponsors, I like to ask them to contribute $1 per person up to 100 people. Because even though I've invited 300 people to an event, I've never had 300 show up. I've never had more than 50 show up. I've had 8 families show up, was the smallest number. And then I had 45 people show up, which was my biggest number, and that includes kids. So don't be so scared. Now, if you got a big business and you're used to giving out 400 pies, prepare for that. Prepare for 400 boxes of cookies. But yeah, so my sponsors would pay for it. So I know that there are 2 different prices for Girl Scout cookies, depending on whichever, but we'll say it's $5. So my goal would be to get 5 sponsors that are willing to contribute $1 per person up to 100. Now, if it looks like I'm going to hit that 100 and go over, then I have the option to go back to the sponsor and say, hey, sponsor, do you want to contribute more? Do you want me to go find another sponsor? And the way you get them to say no to that is be like, oh, I'm going to go find another lender. And they'll be like, oh, no, I have more money. Or we can cap the event. And then what that does is it teaches people that they should RSVP in a timely manner, kind of thing. So that way you can pay for, I'll pay, and then I ask them for a $50 door prize. So for up to $150, they can get in front of people. So they're on all the electronic communication logo and stuff. They get that lead generating question on the form. I ask them to be at the event because I want people to start to recognize them. Like, my home inspector is at everything. So my people know him. They know him as a home inspector. So even if they went to another agent, I would hope that they were like, well, I want Robert to be my home inspector. And so people start to know him. So it's cool. And then I'm like, oh, you remember Robert? He's going to do your home inspection. Oh, it's great. And so yeah. So then ultimately it would cost you nothing except for like decorations, if that's what you want to do, or if you want to have treats and stuff. But you could even get that paid for. My sponsorship model is just kind of how I do my sponsorships. Other people may have like their title company may buy like, I guess cookie trays would be a bad example, but let's say they were like having a bakery make a Girl Scout recipe using Girl Scout cookies. Someone might pay for that. Or with Mary Ellen, like there's a specialty drink. Everybody gets one. Maybe the one sponsor pays for that. Another sponsor pays for the cookies. Another one pays for something else. So it's really kind of, if you already have something in place, you can use that. You can use my idea, or you can make something up of like your own. Because I think, Tina, you did the $1 per box, right? No,
I did just straight sponsorships. for my sponsorships, a dollar amount. And then, but you got to remember, this was my first one, so I wasn't sure how much I was going to give away. But I'm glad I did it the way I did, because it did afford me the money to spend on all the extra stuff. Because I did balloons, I like decorated the whole place out big time.
Yeah.
So, and you
You know
can
what?
find,
I might go find me a Girl Scout troop. Hey, will your daughter come decorate my yard?
you can always find a Girl Scout council in your local area, but we have one on Cedar Road, Monique, and you can go in there and buy, like I have the tablecloth, but we've been doing Girl Scouts since she was a daisy. So I have already a lot of stuff, but I also still went into the store last year and bought other stuff, like to put on the door, a Girl Scout thing to put on the door, a Girl Scout sign that said cookies here. So I bought up a bunch of other stuff at the Girl Scout store for my event. So
That's good to know that, that can be done. If you don't have like a Girl Scout troop that has the swag that's willing to come and set it up for you.
Yes.
But that's what I would do. I'd really try to, especially right now during COVID, right? You guys can't do the booth sales.
Yep.
So are you guys pretty much just online? Make it cold
Pretty
calling?
much. Yeah, she's calling all her folks from the past, and really the online thing has been the big boost for everybody, because now you can have them delivered straight to your house. So we're still doing local deliveries in the Chesapeake area, but for everybody else, it's all online. And the good thing is that the people that order online usually will get them before we actually receive ours. So we'll get ours in a big bulk order, but people that have ordered online will get theirs now.
Yeah. And then also keep in mind, the Girl Scouts have their own timeline as far as when their initial cookie order goes in, when the cookies come to your area, because Arizona, I think, already got their cookies, but Tina and them wait till later this month to pick up their cookies.
Yeah, we don't get our cookies until February the 20th. And just to let you know too, if you are going to do a cookie, you don't want to wait until the end of the season, because at the end, they run out of cookies. So especially like the ones that are very, like the lemon cookies, sometimes the s'mores, some of those cookies will actually be out where you can't find them.
And since I'm not a Girl Scout, I can offer cookies anytime through the year. So next year, I will put, once the new year hits, this will be my first quarter event, but it won't take place until March. However, I am going to start asking about the cookie order early enough to order those cookies from them, so that when they get delivered, I can go ahead and pick mine up. They might sit in a spare bedroom for 6 weeks, but you can get your free cookies when I want to give them to you.
Yeah, and after the season, when there's none available, sometimes that's a hot thing, because then they know it's a commodity. Another thing I do too is order a lot of the s'mores cookies, and I put a little tag on it, would love to do some more business with you, and I usually would give them away as a Popeye gift. So last year I ordered I usually do this as soon as they started selling the s'more cookies. Last year I got stuck with some, and they do actually expire. Because COVID hit and I wasn't able to pass out like I usually do. But it's always a good thing to get as a Popeye gift. People love those s'mores cookies. And those are $5 instead of $4. So they cost a little bit more.
Yeah, just pick a number if we want to go with $4 or $5 when you're estimating your cost, because I know somebody will be like, well, I don't know how many of the $4 boxes and the $5 boxes I'm going to get. So just go with 5. You have a little bit of extra, so yeah. So Roberta or Ashley, what ideas, like, share some insight with us from your marketing and how you think that you might use this. I know, Ashley, you're becoming an agent, but let's not wear that hat just yet.
Yeah, I guess for me, I wasn't 100% sure what this was all about. So I really just came with an open mind to kind of learn some different events and how to utilize the cookie giveaway. And I think it's a great idea, especially for this time of the year when I'm from Wisconsin, so it's cold. You don't do anything really. So I thought that was I'm just, yeah, I just thought it was good information and really good ideas.
Okay, Roberta, what you got for us?
What part of Wisconsin are you in?
In between Appleton and Green Bay.
I'm in Oshkosh.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, so I'm in Kaukauna. That's funny.
In Green Bay yesterday. You know, I do giveaways on my website once in a while. Like I had my birthday, for example, was in December. And so I did a birthday giveaway where I would celebrate my birthday with everybody else. And so I'm looking at this cookie thing is going, okay, this is really fun because for us, some of the schools have been virtual and there's a few that have been in person. And so I don't Girl Scouts locally wise, I have no idea. But I'm looking at this that actually this coming shops, I have places in different little crafter malls and stuff like that. And I have a big one down south and they're actually doing a Galentine's weekend this weekend, a Galentine's shop, and you had to pre-buy tickets, you know, all kinds of things. And so I think that this fits along those lines as well. And I love the fact that you said, think outside the box, quote box, outside of just cookies. Like, how could you do this in June when, you know, it's summertime? And I love the idea of the wine shop, the wine and cheese, like pairing with a local business, you know, a local small business that could also use the revenue of people coming in to pick up whatever it is that you're going to do. Like maybe there's a chocolate shop. There's actually, when somebody had mentioned hot cocoa bombs, there's actually a really great small business, a hot cocoa bomb place in Appleton. And so looking at that, like how could you partner with somebody else to give them a little bit of business while you're getting your customers to come in, and maybe you partner with that hot cocoa bomb person or the wine and cheese shop where if they come in, you know, you're gonna, whatever, maybe they have a product, something along those lines. I love this idea of getting in front of your customers along with doing it at another business and co-partnering with them, because then on top of it, they could also market to their customers saying, hey, you know, so-and-so is going to be here for, you know, pick up, you might want to meet them, whatever, but partnering with them with the marketing aspect as well.
Yeah. And then you said something that made me think, oh, has everybody read The 7 Levels of Communication?
I'm in the middle of reading it.
Okay. I always forget to check, but I like to check because sometimes things don't make sense. If you haven't read the book, right, Greta? So yeah, so the whole thing around the event is like you're really just trying to, you know, love on your people, be generous, but also get referrals. That's the intent. So if you're going to do all of this and not do the door prize form, you might be a little bit disappointed. You know, you'd be like, oh, nothing happened. And I'll tell you, so I just did a gourmet popcorn giveaway with the local popcorn shop for National Popcorn Day. Invited like 250 people. It's the one where 8 families showed up. So my sponsors, we had 3 sponsors: title, inspector, and credit repair. They each gave us a $50 door prize. The inspector, he didn't have to spend anything on his door prize because he bought it for the last event and the person didn't pick it up. So this person that won his prize again didn't pick it up. Like, didn't even reply to my text, you know. So he bought one gift that's going on its 3rd event, you know, so whatever. But the sponsors individually paid $22 a piece, right? So from that event, I had 3 people say that they were that they knew someone who was in the market to buy or sell a home. So I have to reach out to them. And then I had 4 people say that they were looking at buying a home or selling a home. And then we had 6 referrals so those obviously will be for title and home inspector. But then we had 6 people say that they were interested in credit repair for our lender. So even though we only had 8 people come, it was a very basic event for what, $72. All the sponsors are going to get their money back. If we closed one person, everybody got their money back and then some. So remember, in doing all this, you're there to not only serve your own business, but to help the other businesses, like Roberta said, local business, charity. I always have something for charity. I always tie it to a charity component or a give back component. So we collected toothbrushes and toothpaste for the homeless. We only got one toothbrush, but I mean, hey.
I think, just real quick, I think, the huge upturn in people wanting to support small businesses right now,
Mhm.
I think that's a huge marketing up. I think that can be a huge benefit for everybody in jumping in and looking to see who you can partner with the small businesses, because from what we're seeing, or at least I'm seeing in my businesses and people that I'm coordinating with,
Mhm.
people are all about that. So it's really going to be a boost if you partner with these small businesses. You can have really a lot of fun with it, and really that's what people are looking to do.
And so let me ask you this. Do you have any recommendations on, because I'm guessing you have partnered with small businesses before, on like, I guess not so recommendation, but insight on kind of what they're looking for from people. Like if they were sitting across the table from all of us right now, what would they be hoping that we would want to do?
I think number one would be getting people in. Like that's the huge thing. At least here in Wisconsin, I don't know where everybody's at, but here in Wisconsin, things are open. Coffee shops are open. They're there, and I don't think people realize that some things are open. So I think number one, when you brought up the point, when somebody's picking up their cookies, they might grab a hot cocoa, or they might grab an iced coffee if they're in Arizona or Florida or something. I think it's partnering to get the people coming in, because a lot of people don't know that places are open, or that they're serving, that sort of thing. I think the restaurant industry took such a huge hit, that I think that's where a lot of people want to support small businesses, are those small mom and pop shops. And I'm not talking, the McDonald's or all that, but your local coffee shop, your local wine, shop, or your local cheese shop, those sort of things. Number one, people will easily pop in there. Number two, at a time that is good for everybody, but maybe not their busy time. So that was one thing too. Like I do a lot of stuff with a coffee shop in Appleton, and they were doing an event, and she's like, we're already busy, like at 11 to 12:30, we're already kind of busy. So we would like to do something, a little bit in the afternoon, where it's going to draw people in, where we're not going to take away from our regular customers. So I think that's something to think about too, where you might bring people in at a different time, so they can build those relationships as well, like coordinate on getting people in for both aspects, for you and them. And that way, if they're not busy with their regulars, that way you can also focus on your customers, or what your base that you want to touch as well. Or you might say, you know what, we want to come in a little bit towards the end of your busy time, so we can catch some of your customers that might not otherwise know we're coming in. I agree with you. Who doesn't know somebody who's either looking to buy, looking to sell, or looking to do something refinance it, take advantage of these great rates? So I think that there's a lot out there that you guys can partner with on the small businesses, who's not looking for more traffic into their shops.
Awesome. Thank you, ma'am. Miss Greta.
Yes. Hi, Roberta. Good to see you again, too. But yes, that's what I'm doing. And you mentioned chocolate, and that's what I'm doing. Chocolate of gratitude.
Okay. So at a chocolate place, right?
Yes.
Awesome.
And my door prizes / raffle prizes, I'm on Eventbrite right now trying to set it up. First time doing it. So the door prize is going to be a $50 gift certificate. I'm doing 2 of them, to a florist and also to the chocolatier. So,
okay. Because you're doing yours before Valentine's Day?
I'm doing it the 13th. I was going to do it the 6th, but not enough time. So I'm doing it the 13th, but people have to RSVP by the 7th, so that they
Okay.
can get their gift certificate in advance to be able to get their Valentine's Day order.
Okay. Awesome. You got anything on the Girl Scout cookie giveaway? Any feedback, any ideas that maybe came up that we didn't talk about, but not necessarily that you're gonna do, but like, oh, that's cool, like somebody could do it.
Feedback is I didn't realize the timing of it, because I thought, okay, I'm doing event master, we'll do this first event and I'll do Girl Scout cookie next month. So once I learned that, I still wanted to attend this so that I can plan for next year. Because like you said, like I think it was a great idea to get the orders in advance so that as soon as you can place an order, you can do that.
To secure your cookie spot. Rebecca, what about you? Because I know you're on a team that is in 2 states.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So I was interested in the Girl Scout thing because I used to be the cookie mom. So, a long time ago. But I think I was just curious as to how, all the other ideas on how to pull it off. I've never done one where people pick up things, so I'm kind of interested in that because it certainly beats driving around.
So you've never done a pie giveaway?
We did a pie giveaway, but we delivered them.
Yeah.
So.
And so another thing for people coming together is if they know you, like that's obviously everybody there knows you on some level, right. And they're talking to you. They're talking post-COVID, right? We'll just assume that there's people there talking. Yeah. But then they're like, oh, well, how did you know so-and-so or whatever? But they can then share good, positive information about you. Yeah. And then your sponsors, I'll tell you one thing I do is I'm a high C, so I like to plan everything. Is I send an email on the day of my event in the morning that says, hey, the cookie giveaway is only, a few hours away. This is what you should expect. And then I'm like, when you get there, register with sponsor A, drop off your donation with sponsor B, make sure you smile for our photography sponsor, and then make sure you see me for your golden ticket. And the golden ticket is like an index card for my milkshake event. It's an index card that they write their name on and their flavor. And that's important to me because when I follow up with thank you notes, I say, I hope you enjoyed that Butterfinger milkshake. And they're like, how do you know that? Because I'm psychic. But yeah, but what that does is it makes sure that every person talks to every single one of the sponsors. Their names are out there, then they could put faces with names and so forth and so on. So that's what I do. But post-COVID, I plan to make it like a big deal. Like one lady does a pie event. She does it at her house and has 150 people come, and she has like hors d'oeuvres and drinks at Thanksgiving. But let's just pretend I keep it in my yard. Like I'm gonna go to the Girl Scout cookie store, Tina's house, and then I'll be like, can I get some of that stuff to borrow? Put it up, maybe make some of the Girl Scout treats myself, or get like a local baker who would like to be a sponsor, and that would be their sponsorship, would be like the snacks. But make it something like that so that it's an experience in addition to just picking up a box. They're just picking up a box because it's COVID this year, but in the future, I'd like it to be more of an experience than nothing at all. So, and you can do it with anything. You can give away anything. As long as you like it. You can do pretzel giveaways at like a pretzel shop. Ice cream social. It's all there. Donuts. I'm all about it. But no, I don't deliver because it takes a lot of time to coordinate, let alone actually delivering them. And if your area is big, because aren't you outside of Atlanta?
Yeah, but we're in the burbs, so I try and keep everything low,
Yeah.
local. But still, it can be, you know.
Yeah, so well, that's all I have for you guys. Like, I hope that there was something that was interesting that helped you with any event that you're going to do. Or if you're thinking about doing this next year or adding it to your calendar, that you can take with you. Because I know sometimes we gloss over this in like the Generosity Generation Facebook page, or in the, Michael will have his guests, but they don't necessarily go deeper into any of the things. And so I like to kind of give some how-tos for people. So if you guys don't have anything, that's it. Ashley, good luck on your test this month.
Thank you.
Yeah, you got this.
Fingers crossed.
You got it. Just study well and you'll be good to go.
Thank you
All
for
right.
everything.
You're welcome. And thank you guys for coming, and I'll see you guys around.
Okay.
All
Thanks,
right,
Monique.
thank you.
Bye.
Bye.